Hi everyone, welcome to Southeastern Mama, and we are now live for our Tea Time Tuesday. And I'm gonna be having matcha latte again. So please bear with me as I go look down and look for my notes because I wrote down some of the tips that I would like to share to you on surviving this lockdown or quarantine in our mothering. So, um, yeah, so for those of you who are new, my name is Grace. I am a stay-at-home mom, and I have a 1-year-old daughter who goes to kindergarten. We live in Norway, and life now is starting to be normal here where we live. So I have time to create YouTube videos. And today I would like for us to chat about um, how do we survive this how do we stay healthy and sane in this lockdown with having our children at home all the time without any help from others. And I would just like to share what happened to me because Norway had a lockdown for about 5 weeks, for a month and a week in total, starting 13th of March until 2 weeks ago, a week ago, sorry. So I have been at home with my daughter all the time, and my husband is still working. But I am a stay-at-home mom, so I'm used into staying at home. But I always get my alone time or my time for myself because she goes into the kindergarten. So after this lockdown happened, I have experienced a lot of change too, even though I'm staying at home. So and also in the beginning of the weeks, my husband worked here at home, but it didn't work well for him, so he had to work in his office. So he had to leave as if it is normal. Um, but we believe it's so safe in here that it's not really a big deal. So let's just dive into the tips that I'm gonna give you today about staying safe and or not staying safe, but staying sane and staying healthy as a mother in this period of time. And my number one tip, let's just dive into the most important thing, is know your trigger and prioritize it. What I mean about it is knowing your trigger. I will just put an example for myself. I can easily get annoyed, irritated, and angry when I didn't have my shower. It's so easy for me to have to get all the little things get into my nerves, even though it's so little reasons. And by just addressing to showering every day, the trigger isn't there anymore, if you know what I mean. So for me, it is showering every day, and second is sleep, getting enough sleep. I am not a person that can function for 5 hours of sleep only. I can only do seven to nine. I can sleep for 9. I can actually sleep for 12 hours, but that didn't happen again after after being a mother. But I am never a short sleeper. Never. I will pass out if I only get 4 to 5 hours of sleep. So getting few hours of sleep will instantly make my mood really bad for that day. So if I will add up not having a shower and not having enough hours of sleep, you might not want to be with me because I am not the kindest person when I don't get that too. And maybe the least is not having something in my stomach, because growing up I am so used into starting my day without having breakfast. and without having a lot of food growing up, with very budgeted baon, as we call it in the Filipino, I am used to not eating a lot actually. So it's not my number one. For a lot of people, eating or not having in their stomach is their number one trigger. So I think having this lockdown, you're all the time at home, and you have these triggers, and you don't know why you get so angry easily. Why are you get triggered so easily? Then maybe try knowing what is the root cause of it. And for me, it is again showering and sleeping, the getting the right amount of sleep. So those two, I will be the happiest of the day if I get those. I can function being a mother, being a wife. I can cook very good food. I can create anything that I want if I get those two. So I really recommend to check in what are your triggers and prioritize it during the day so that we can limit the friction with our family, and we can limit shouting to our children, unnecessary stress to our children, because for sure they're also having those stress. Our children are also anxious about these changes all of a sudden. So as an adult, as a mother, let's try to be the one to adjust in this period. And as everyone knows, when the mother is in a good mood, the whole family is in the good mood, right? So it's always, that's my number one tip. And I think if you only do that, it will change the way you do your everyday, even after this lockdown. And yeah, so I did mention shower and sleep, but I forgot to mention, because I wrote it down, and I forgot to mention that my trigger as well is not having an alone time, or not having a me time at the end of the day. Because if I don't get that, I tend to not be kind with my husband. I am staying at home all the time, not having friends, and um, I am used to that even after being a mother. And when I became a mom and having my daughter all the time, I crave for that moment where I am alone. So at the end of the day, after I attended to my daughter and my husband worked and he came after work, we have a system where he will bond to my daughter, put her in bed, put her to sleep, and that's the time for myself after that. So around 7 in the evening, my daughter will go to bed, and I will have my me time, and I'm so happy to have that. So this is my top 3 triggers, and if I don't get that, it's not gonna be a good day for the whole family. So yeah, so that was my first tip. Again, know your trigger and prioritize them. And number 2 is know that this is just a season, and this too shall pass. This will fall on to like having a mindset around this around this crazy season that is happening all over the world. Because if we linger on that thought of oh, I am just staying at home, I couldn't do anything, I cannot meet my friends, or whatever negative mindset you have around this lockdown, it's not gonna be good, right? So it's really important to set our mind and remind ourselves that this is just a short period of time, and we will get over this. This is going to be done. So that is a powerful mindset that we can train ourselves and release those stressful thoughts to ourselves, because mental baggage carry a lot of stress to us as moms, right? I am also trying to be good at mastering my mindsets, because just by changing our mindsets, it's changing a lot. everything around us. So that is my number two. And number three for me is to um, block schedule your days. For me, it helps a lot. And I will show you my schedule when we were in lockdown for 6 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks. And this was it. I posted it. I posted this. I posted this one to our refrigerator so that I can see it every time. And I can show you that my daughter wakes up between 6:30 to 7 in the morning, and most of the time we wake up together. Best case scenario, I will wake up an hour before her, but it's so tough because my daughter, we co-sleep, and she always cries whenever I'm out of the bed. So that's one thing that we have to work out in a long term. But right now, that's our scenario. That's our case at the moment. So we wake up together and we brush our teeth together. We do stuff together. We eat. We prepare breakfast. We eat our breakfast together from the morning, and then it's time for our dancing, our yoga. We do body movement after breakfast, and then I will call my family and have a chat with them. But my point is just to show you that having a system or schedule will help you, not only you but your daughter, to have an expectation what will be your day will go, and that will remove the stress of thinking of not being present, because I think scheduling helps you to be present. So but you it's hard to like hold on to the schedule all the time 24/7. I have to be honest with you, it's not always like that every day. It's not that we always follow this. We are spontaneous, but if I lost my mind and I'm not being present, then this is my guide throughout the day, and it's really helping me. So we have time for outdoors when we were in lockdown, because luckily in Norway it's quite safe because fewer people are here. So we still go out in the forest, we still walk, we still breathe fresh air and have sun exposure, which is very important. So we still do those. Those are the things that are lucky for us. I know for some of you it's not really not the right thing to do right now, but just going out to your veranda, your terrace, will help as well, right? So yeah, so everything is scheduled. It's block scheduled for us, and it serves as a good guide for your day. And moving on to my tip number 4 for you is to slow down. Because with the first 2 weeks of quarantine lockdown here in Norway, I was beating up myself to be on YouTube and be active on my online business, but it never happened because it's not possible. I knew from the very beginning that you cannot mix work and your toddler. That will never happen, unfortunately. And for a lot of other moms as well, they are working, staying at home, working and being a mom. One for sure will suffer, because humans cannot do. We are not multitasker. We are really not, because one way or another one will suffer. It could be your relationship to your child or your quality of your work. So I just realized that I have to let this go, this expectation that I can continue making YouTube channel and continue with my online business, because it's not gonna be. So I just reminded myself, wait, I stayed at home in the first place because we have a quite high demand with the because of our daughter's case. I'm not gonna go into detail, but she is underweight, and we need to help her to get to eat more, and that takes a lot of time and energy for me as her mom. And right now, I don't have the luxury to do YouTubing anymore and my only online business anymore. And that's the fact that I have to accept and just let go and slow down and be present with my daughter. So that's just my point here is we have a period in life where we just have to accept that we cannot do more and just live in the moment and slow down. And I think this is the moment that we just have to breathe and let go all the expectations that we set up to ourselves, because it's impossible to do this all together at once. And of course, parents that have different ages, if they are in the school age, for sure that will be easier for you to manage. But for mothers like me who has a baby or a toddler, it's impossible. That's just a fact. So slow down and just accept that we cannot do a lot of things during this season. We cannot get before I can get help with my mom-in-law, and she can go here and attend to my daughter. Then I can have my time for myself. But because of the lockdown situation, we cannot do it anymore. So yeah, so it's a situation where we don't have a lot of control with. Yeah. So moving on to the next tip for you is have a simple self-care routine. And this is funny for me because I started watching Korean series or Korean novela. And my husband is seeing it. So funny because we don't watch it together. I only watch it and he sees it. I watch what's the title? What's the title? Crashing on You? Crash Landing on You. Oh my god. Crash Landing on You. And I like it. I like it. I laugh a lot. I cried too. You know, it those emotions releasing through watching this series helped me to feel not to feel but to have that kind of to just release those emotions. And for a long time I didn't have any entertainment, and I'm so glad that I started watching Korean novelas because it only helped me to have fun, because I don't sit down anymore to watch TV. I always try to learn a lot with my spare time. And for the first time I did that, and it's so happy. It feels like I'm young again. So for me, that is my self-care. Part of my self-care is to watch Korean series. And find one for you too. I don't know, maybe it could be writing or painting, drawing, journaling, bullet journaling. Maybe something new like what I did. I've never done watching Korean series until the lockdown, and I think I'm gonna continue it even though this life is getting normal here, because it's just giving me positive vibes. I'm so happy to watch it. And so yeah, have that self-care routine and do it daily, because that will boost energy and spirit to you, right? For me, that's what Korean novellas did to me. And moving on to my tip number 6 for you is still having social connection. And I am so happy because when this lockdown began, I started calling my mom. I think every day, every single day, whenever we get the chance with me. No, whenever we actually, I scheduled it. I schedule calling my mom on Facebook videos because so that we don't feel alone. I don't feel alone with my daughter. And she's very happy to see her family over there and speaking another language. So it's an activity that also, it's having that social interaction too. We're so lucky to have this time in a day where we can be on the screen and talk to our family and stay connected to them. So I also recommend that to you, to stay connected with your friends and family. I also have a family here in Norway, and we do our devotion on the screen too. So that I know for sure in the Philippines we have a lot of worshiping groups there, and by including that in our routine really helps our spirit to feel better and happy, and that things will go normal back again. So that is my next tip for you, is to have that social connection through social media. And my last tip for you, this is gonna be the last tip, and that's appreciate or gratitude. It's so easy for us to complain about what's going on around us, this global pandemic, and it's so easy to forget the blessings that we have right now, that we have food on our table. I actually have a story with you because the first weeks, like I told you, my husband worked at home for the first week, but then he didn't manage to stay because of lots of resources are not available at home. So he needed to go to his workplace, and that irritated me a little bit. Maybe a lot, not a little bit, but that irritated me because I want him home. I want him to be safe, and he cannot do it. And in the beginning, I am angry, but I realized that he is only doing what he needs to do. Of course, he wants to stay at home and for us to be safe, but he's the provider. He's trying his best to provide to us, to earn money so that we will have a comfortable life. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for my husband, really. And being angry to that is not reasonable. I wasn't reasonable at that time. So yeah, I'm just emotional because yeah. So my point is just being just be appreciative and have gratitude on what we have right now, even though this pandemic is crazy. It's changing us a lot, but having that appreciation, looking at our children, they are living in the moment, they're happy, and maybe it's nice to learn from them, to just live in the moment and be happy. So yeah, so that's my last tip, is to appreciate and have that gratitude around us. And for me personally, just the thinking, I am actually very grateful in my life, but I thought that that was enough. I thought that having that running in my head is enough, but I tend to still complain a lot. So I realized maybe just thinking it is not enough, but actually writing it down. So every night I started to write three three things that I am grateful for every day. I am not consistent, but I am trying to be. But that helped me to remind myself, hey, you're very lucky, look at you. And maybe that will help you be more grateful in your life right now. So So yeah, those are my tips. I'm just gonna repeat it so that yeah, so that you can also remember it. So my tip number one is know your trigger and prioritize it. And number two, know that this is just a season and this too shall pass. And number three is block schedule. Yeah, block scheduling. And number four is to slow down, be present, and just live in the moment. And my number five tip is simple self-care. Include that into your daily schedule. And number six is social connection. And seven, last is appreciate. So I also included in my thumbnail about marriage and connection because the other day I saw an article that says couple that or married couple that is in quarantine is having divorced. And that is sad and and funny at the same time, but it's a serious matter, right? We are so busy, we're so caught up that we may be caught up with the responsibility in doing um, our work, our house chores, our children, that we forget our connection with our husband. So we try to I try to just talk to my husband every night and have that connection. Although it's not happening every night, we always try. But just having that reminding yourself that it's you and your husband is the most important to have that harmonious relationship for your child, for your toddler. So yeah, and also I have to mention that my latest video I have created, please do check that out. It's about Montessori activities, and I hope that that will help you have some ideas on how what activities you can do with your child right now during lockdown, because a lot of it that you can do at home. And my daughter is a very active child. She's 19 months old. She's on her peak of using her body and just be all over. So those activities and tips that I have made on my latest video will hopefully help you. So please check that out on my channel. And also one last thing that I forgot to mention, because if you're like me and you're practicing Montessori, you know very well that screen time for 19 months old, for 1 year old, is unnecessary. They don't really need screen time at this point. But I tell you that after this, when this lockdown happened, I started to allow her to have some screen time. And this happens once in the morning and once in the evening, because there's no way for me to have my shower, there's no way for me to cook dinner if I'm not gonna allow her to sit down and calm down and watch the television. And from my experience, I am doing independent play with her. I encourage independent play. I encourage reading with her. But that will only take maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then after that, she needs my attention again. But with television, she can be sitting for 30 minutes or longer. And that's the time that I can have myself. I always tell myself that I have to attend to myself first. I need to be happy first. I need to prioritize myself first before my daughter. Because if I don't meet those, I cannot be the present mother that she deserves. So I always try to not be guilty in allowing her to be on the television, because I am giving my that time for me to make food for her, and for me to have my shower so that I can be present with her. And it's really helping, and I feel very lucky to have a television because it helps us to concentrate on the other things that we have to do. And I also try to remind myself that I am present to her almost the whole day, and this is just a small part of the day that she can just do screen time. So if you're a mom like me that feels a little bit guilty because of the screen time, because honestly they don't really need it, it's a very passive entertainment for them. It doesn't help their development. It The only thing that happens to them is trying. They don't have that creativity anymore, and it's a young toddler. They need to move, they need to use their creativity, and television kills that. And that's what I don't like. That's why I'm not really encouraging and not doing television with my daughter at such a very young age. We don't do screen time at all until this happens. But my parenting style is different from my husband. My husband allows screen time to my daughter, but I don't argue with that. He has his own ways and I have my own ways, and we try to just meet in the middle. But as far as for myself, I don't really encourage screen time to my daughter. But at this season, at this pandemic, I think we are allowed to do this. I'm not gonna beat myself up in allowing her to watch television, because I know after this season, like right now, it's done. She's back to normal. She's in kindergarten and doing the play that she likes. It's all done, and she's gonna be fine, right? So yes, I think I have covered all the things that I want to share with you today. So I hope that you've learned something new today. Please remember those tips, and I hope that you stay safe, stay healthy with your mind, your body, and your energy, with your husband and your child. Your child needs you, so just be try to be present and don't be so tough on yourself. These are the things that I told myself, and I know a mom out there needs to hear it. So I'm telling you too that this will be over, and you're doing such a good job to even try your best even this stressful situation. So I would like to see you again next time. My tea got cold because I just talk and talk. I don't see anyone right now with my live, and that is totally fine. I'm okay with that. I am still learning this process, and I'm so happy that I've started this live, because my confidence is helping me to speak, because I know that I'm live, it's recording, it's so spontaneous, and I wish that I'm not only that this practice helps me, but also I am helping you with the tips that helps me in this motherhood. And this Tea Time Tuesdays is going to happen every Tuesday. I don't know what time is the best for you. We will know later on. But if you are interested to join, tell me what time you are available to have this chat on the comment section down below. And also, before we end, the Mother's Day is happening very soon, in 2 weeks, in the next 2 weekends. And I just want to ask, what do you look forward to after this lockdown? And what hopefully it will be done before the Mother's Day. But my question is, what do you look forward to do to celebrate Mother's Day? Maybe we can celebrate it after the lockdown. Comment down below. I would love to hear. But for me, I am so excited to meet my my other friends again in another city, have some barbecue time, and for Frida to meet my Filipino friends, because it's different to have Filipino environment, Filipino energy around. And I'd like my daughter to be exposed in Filipino community. So that's what I'm looking forward to after this lockdown happens. So yeah, and I hopefully I will see you on the next Tea Time Tuesday. And if you have any topic, any idea, let me know down below on the comment section below as well. See you on my next video. Bye!